Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. A new Bioshock game is being made at 2K's new studio. That's the news, and that's how Rock Paper Shotgun worded it. Bioshock games have been critically acclaimed and celebrated for their originality, their story, which is one of the strongest parts in them, and of course the gameplay. And these kinds of games take a lot of time to develop and make. So here are a few things that I have highlighted in this article and in other articles. Let's just read through them and see what we got here. We can't wait to see where powerful narrative and iconic first-person shooter gameplay head in the future with our new studio team at Cloud Chamber leading the charge. And this is what 2K President David Ismailer said. We founded Cloud Chamber to create yet to be discovered worlds and their stories within that push the boundaries of what is possible in the video game medium, Gilmore said. Our team believes in the beauty and strength of diversity in both the makeup of the studio and the nature of its thinking. We are deeply experienced group of game makers, including many responsible for Bioshock's principal creation, advancement and long-standing notoriety, and honored to be part of the 2K family as stewards of this iconic franchise. So you can see there is a new game studio who's going to make the new Bioshock game. And what's even interesting is that there are some 2K veterans in there, Bioshock veterans to be more precise. So it's not just like this experience of going blind into something, making a new studio and letting them do everything from scratch, but of course there will be this touch of Bioshock that every Bioshock game has, in the sense that it's going to play as Bioshock, it's going to look like as Bioshock because Bioshock veterans are involved. What is interesting is that there is this article from Kotaku by Jason Schreier, and he basically says that this Bioshock game in the making has been there for years, but it wasn't announced. And he says the truth is that Bioshock 4, codenamed Parkside, has existed for years, according to 4 people familiar with the project. So he has his sources here that have told him things, and I think there was an article in Kotaku about the making of a new Bioshock game back in the day, probably a couple of years ago, something like that. And then there was this game studio called Certain Affinity, and they were supposed to handle this new Bioshock game, but as the article says here, by the end of 2016, however, 2K had pulled the project out of Austin, where the Certain Affinity game studio is, and now they are making this kind of collaboration between people in Quebec, Montreal, and in Novato, California. So from what I understand here is that this game has been in the making, and probably 2K didn't like the way it went, and then they decided to, cancel what has been done so far at the time and then begin from scratch the making of a new Bioshock game. And it seems like the fact that they hid the information from public was probably to give them a little bit more time to breathe and think about the ideas they're going to do. Especially that sometimes when there is a new game announced, people are just wondering, when is this game going to be released? And when are we going to be able to buy it and play it. And this creates some sort of pressure on game makers and developers. And in my opinion, at least, the fact that they hid the information about this new Bioshock game for at least these 2 years is a good thing, so that they can just make a kind of roadmap of what they want to do, have a rough idea, and probably create a few things to see how it's going to go and to see how they can move forward. And there is another article in arstechnica.com. In this article we know that Ken Levine, who is one of the most important people in making Bioshock games, is not involved in this new Bioshock game. And he wasn't involved, I think, in Infinite. So it's not really that big of a news, but it's still something that people were probably hoping for. And then there is this clarification. So here I have highlighted a few things, and it reads, instead, the new game, quote, will be in development for the next several years, end of quote, with Cloud Chamber, a 2K subsidiary studio based in both Novato, California and Montreal. Veteran Firaxis game producer Kelly Gilmore will be heading up the new studio and confirmed to Games Radar that the Bioshock project will be moving forward without Levine. Another quote here from Gilmore saying, Ken and his team at Ghost Story Games are fully engaged in developing a new experience that will surely be another incredible game for all of us to enjoy. He is not affiliated with Cloud Chamber or the development of our Bioshock title. So yeah, there you have it, guys. Seems like Gilmore is involved but Ken Levine isn't. And it will be interesting to see what kind of game Ken Levine is going to come up with, because he is surely one of those talented, creative game developers out there. And we are probably going to see some kind of nice surprise in the making. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a thumbs up, subscribe for more, and I will talk to you again soon. Have a good one.